Hey guys, SculptKid here. I'm an illustrator and a 3D artist. I'm currently working on some print projects, and AI art is kind of taking over the internet. And I think part of that reason is because there's a lot of ignorance around how easy and low skilled, and by low skill I mean zero skill. It's incredibly easy to use, and I think a lot of people have this misconception because a lot of AI bros have said, oh, you need to be able to use the right terminology to get it to do exactly what you want, which is complete and utter crap. I used it when it first came out. I didn't know about the ethical issues. It was just a cool, shiny new toy. Still is a cool, shiny new toy, but there's a lot of controversy surrounding the Lian 5B set and how it was scraped for research initially, and then it was sold and has been turned into an for-profit endeavor and has really screwed over a lot of artists without their consent, took a lot of their artwork, and has been profiting off of those artists. And it is incredibly easy to use, and I'm going to show you today how easy it is to use, so that way from now on when you see AI art you can appreciate that it looks cool, but you also understand that when the person who shared the AI art and is telling you that they made it, you'll understand that they're lying and trying to take credit for something that they have nothing to do with, basically. So how hard is it to do? Here's the program. I'm using Midjourney Discord. All you do is you pay $30. I paid for it for a month because someone told me that it isn't easy and nobody can do it. You got to be special, and challenge me to recreate something that someone they liked had created. Because I told them that I could recreate anything in Midjourney within 2 hours, and I recreated it in 30 minutes. So we're going to start with typing in imagine. That's how you prompt the robot, the machine learning. And then I'm going to say a man holding an apple. That's it. It's the only thing I'm going to type in. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to put any descriptors. I'm not going to say cinematic. I'm not going to say hyper detailed. I'm not going to say hyper realistic. I'm not going to say octane render or cinematic or dramatic or chiaroscuro. I'm not going to use any words that you wouldn't know as someone who's uneducated, if you are in the art world or anything like that. I'm not doing anything beyond the common person's ability who knows English and would be able to type in the same thing. And as you can see, I've recorded this video probably I think 5 times, and I've typed in a man with an apple. Here's a couple that it gave me earlier. A man holding an apple. Here's more. A man holding an apple. This started at 10:28. I started, and now it's 11:13. That's how many times I've recorded. But as you can see, I already have 4, 8, 12, 16 images of a man holding an apple, which are incredibly well detailed, anatomically accurate for the most part. There's some weird looking fingers right here, but I've already generated 16 images in less than an hour of one subject that are beyond my own personal capabilities. And did you see how much work I put into that? How much of that was me? How much of that was my skill in using the right words to make sure the image was just right? You get what I'm saying? Let me further illustrate how obnoxious this is. I'm just going to slap the keyboard. Ready? You hear me slapping? And then hit enter. So if I sent that to an artist and said, paint me that, they'd be like, did you have a stroke? Are you okay? Do you need to talk? But if I send it to Midjourney, it's just a machine. It's an algorithm. It's a program. It's going to get as close as it can to what it thinks those random, I don't even want to call them words, those random letters all mixed together, what that means. And it's going to give me something, by all regards, incredibly well rendered and cool looking, cool to look at. But as you can see, what am I doing? How much of this is me? What am I doing to make this look the way it looks? How much of this is my imagination? How much of this is my skill? How much of this is my knowledge? How much of this is my words, right? What would you credit me? How much credit would you give me for what you're seeing me do right now? Because there's a lot of people out there who want 100% credit. And I'll tell you, this was, I'm hesitant to even give myself 1% credit for just slapping the keyboard. But look at this. This is, again, by all means, incredibly well rendered, interesting to look at. But this has nothing to do with me my skill, my knowledge, nothing. This is me just slapping a keyboard, hitting enter. Let me show you the other ones that I've done. And by I've done, the AI generated, right? You see how easy it is to slip into that ownership of it? Like, it's fun. It's kind of like gambling almost, where you just say, hey, I want this thing, and then it gives you something incredible. And it would be cool to be able to take ownership of this and be like, oh man, like, look how talented I am. But it is nothing to do with me or my capabilities. I also see a lot of people doing stuff like John Cena as the Hulk, Tom Holland as Link. I did Morgan Freeman as Ganondorf, right? And that's all it is. I didn't type in anything interesting. I just used words that you would type into Google search. That's it. I didn't have to do anything beyond the common knowledge of a normal human being who can speak English. And I even used something that someone who doesn't speak English, they could literally just slap the keyboard a couple times, hit enter, and get some stuff generated that is incredibly well rendered. So yeah, there. That's behind the veil. That's the little man controlling the machine that shows you the big Wizard of Oz head that you go, ooh, ah, it's a lazy magic trick. Which the people who programmed and made the machine that makes the art is like beyond my comprehension. That is incredibly cool. It would be a lot cooler if it wasn't taking away jobs and money from artists who deserve those jobs and that money to, pay their bills. And it would be cool if they ethically sourced the thing. Cooler, I should say. But in terms of the technology, it's hard for me to even fathom how they even began to create this program. But it sure as hell isn't my art, and it sure as hell isn't anyone else's art who says that they're the ones who created this stuff. It's not. It's low skill. It's created specifically to remove the skill and the knowledge and the effort for making art, so people who aren't me, who don't know how to use, Photoshop, use a pencil, use paper and paint and all of those things, to be able to create in a way that they can feel that, the coolness of having an idea and seeing it be created, right? It's not your imagination. It's not my imagination. It's a machine spitting out the closest thing that it can generate based off of the prompts. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit better why a lot of artists are mad at the people who are lying about how much they do compared to how much the machine does, which is, I would say, 99.99% at this point. It's a very one-sided relationship. But anyway, if you want to see some cool anime figures of YouTube personalities that I like, that I want to lift up, I've got one that I'm going to release next month. And then hopefully from there I can release a lot more and just lift up some cool people. Then feel free to follow and stick around. I post art and music from me and my friend Alyssa. And I just try to make the world a better place. So that's about it. I love you. Take care of yourself. Be good. And I'll see you next time. Bye.